New Year's is just around the corner, and a lot of language learners like you are probably going to make some New Year's resolutions related to the languages you're learning. And that's a great thing, but there are some people who don't make very good goals. You know, I don't really like that self-help, motivational, become driven style of video, so I'm not here to inspire you today. I just want to share 5 do's and don'ts to consider when you are making your language goals. The first don't is don't make goals about reaching some arbitrary level in your target language. I think the worst possible goal you could make is something like, I want to be fluent in Spanish next year. There is no metric to know whether you have reached your goal or whether you've failed. With or without the goal, right now you don't know enough Spanish and you won't know when you've learned enough Spanish. Similarly bad is something like, I want to reach B2 by the end of the year. What do you mean by B2? Do you want to have a fluid conversation about most topics? Why can't that be your goal? Why do you have to define things in terms of rank? Do you want to just put it in your profile? Like, what? Now, you can have a dream when you're making your goal, but I think that dream you should start with is something more specific. But that dream should be like a very imaginative image. Imagine you're at a dinner party with some Spanish speaker and you can fluidly talk about whatever that native speaker brings up. You don't have to ask them to use any English words. The conversation's really nice and comfortable. That's a good dream, and you can build your goal around that dream. In the end, I want that amazing dinner party experience. Then what? Okay, so that means I need to be able to understand most accents. I need to be able to talk about the weather, my job, why I'm speaking Spanish. Things are starting to become a little clearer when you have this dream in mind. You can make goals around that. Something you should do is define successes and failures. We don't want to be able to slither away from our goal, so you should spend some time defining what success is and what failure is. Otherwise, you'll just keep moving the goalposts so that what you want can fit your goal. For example, if your goal is to learn 500 new German verbs this year, does 499 count as failure? Does it have to be 500? Do they have to be unique? Can you do phrasal verbs? Try to really test the limits of what counts as success and failure so that you're not considering that later. If your goal is to watch a movie without needing a dictionary, then define that. So does that mean you can just play a movie and turn off your brain? Or will you define success in terms of being able to summarize that movie you saw to know that you understand it? You know, really test the limits of your goal before you start working on it so that you can encounter those edge cases before they appear. Or it'll help you just avoid those edge cases at all. Don't try to catch up with someone. Another awful goal would be to base your journey off of someone else's. When you are learning a language, the only person you should compare to is the you from yesterday. You are the sole gauge of where you should be. Your goal needs to focus on your personal weaknesses and improving those, not on mimicking someone else's strengths. Just don't even go there. Do choose goals that are not up for debate. When you use adjectives like fluently or comfortably or quickly, you have already set yourself up for failure. You can move those goalposts wherever you want, so your goal is at the mercy of your whims. Instead of using those adjectives, which have a spectrum, try to use binary actions or use numbers. So for example, I will take the NSK, I will take the JLPT, I will take the TOPIK exam. Those are binary actions. Either you took it or you did not. There's no in between. You can't kinda take an exam. Some other binary action would be like, I want to finish my grammar textbook by the end of the year. You either finish it or you don't. Something good related to numbers would be like, I will learn 3 words a day in German. 0 and 1 and 2 are failures. 3 is a success. That is not up for debate. There's no such thing as 2.5 words. Don't highball it. If your goal is too lofty, you're definitely going to feel overwhelmed and like you want to quit. If you are a beginner and you say you want to read a native level book by the end of the year, you're in over your head. If you get 1/4 into the year and you're not 25% on the way to your goal, you will definitely get discouraged. My foot is asleep. The point of the goal is to push yourself to do something you wouldn't have already done while giving you some good serotonin for doing something good. Do choose goals where failures are still pretty good. Serotonin is one hell of a drug, and nothing gets your brain quite making it like getting something good done. Even in the case of failure, you should be getting something good done. For example, if your goal is to learn 200 words a month and you only get to 160, that's still really good. That's 160 more than what you would have done if you didn't make the goal. If your goal is to get to the end of a native level book by the end of the month and you only get 40% done, 40% of a native level book is still really good. That's a pat on the back. Don't lowball it. Going slow is also dangerous because it defeats the purpose of making a goal. Let's say right now you do 20 minutes of language learning a day, just by default. Then you say you want to do 10 hours of language learning in a month. That means you don't have to change any of your habits to reach your goal. That is not a goal. That's just congratulating yourself for the bare minimum. It's good to praise yourself for doing language learning, but your goal shouldn't be so easy that it doesn't disrupt your life at all. I think a good starting point would be what you're doing right now plus 10%. Maybe that can be your goal. If you naturally learn 10 words a day, well, what about 330 words in a month? You'll have to push yourself a little bit some days, or go a little bit over every day. Have a reason to go above and beyond. You don't need to break your back, but don't make it so obvious that you're going to reach your goal. Do allow flexibility in the means of reaching your goal. Like I mentioned, it should not be easy, but it doesn't need to be so hard that you can't account for life. Life happens. You have sick days. You have bad mental health days. You have lazy days. You get an unexpected invite to go out with a friend. That's all right. A few of those unproductive days shouldn't throw you off of your goal completely. The goal shouldn't be so strict that you forget you're human and you have a life outside of language learning. If your goal is to do 5 hours of language learning a day, that's not realistic for most people because most people don't have 5 hours every single day. Is your goal time sensitive, like a proficiency exam? You can't make up for lost time. So your goal should not be so strict as to say it must be done on this day. Well, what about the day before, day after? A little bit of flexibility is good. Basically, if you miss one day, it shouldn't be all over. Don't ignore the journey you've already made. Looking towards the future is good, but we should also look towards the past with our considerations. You should take into account what you enjoy doing, what you don't enjoy doing, what's difficult for you, what's easy for you, what has worked, what has not worked. You cannot set a goal if you only have that dream I mentioned earlier. You need some experience to know this is the right direction or this is crazy, this is never going to work. Is there a language you've put on hiatus for years? Do you think that just declaring you're going to watch a full season in the target language is going to make you go back? It's just that easy. You just have to declare you're going to make a goal. It's not going to work because you're ignoring the past and you're ignoring the key issue that made you put down that language so many times. If you need a resolution to finally do something, you should consider what it is that made you never do it before, and you should target that. If you have not focused on Spanish for years and you just say suddenly, I'm going to write 1 page of Spanish every week. The issue isn't about you not having a goal. The issue was probably something about immersion and interest. Looking to the past will really help you make the right goal and not just cover the problem with another bandage. Do consider the peculiarities of your target language. There is no goal that fits all languages, so you're going to have to take into account what needs to be done in a certain language for mastery. If you want to learn Chinese, you're going to spend a lot of more time learning to write. If you are learning French, you probably didn't spend any time for literacy. If you are learning German, you have to spend more time to know what preposition goes with what adjective and what noun case goes with that preposition, and you have to memorize things a little bit more in pairs, in groups, more than other languages. So it's kind of foolish to say I want to learn X number of words in German, because you're probably going to have to learn a lot of phrases that are indivisible. Your goal really needs to take into account the peculiarities of your language and target that in the form of a goal. And that's the information I want to pass on to you today. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like setting goals? Are you making any New Year's resolutions? You can follow me on my social media. I post on Instagram every single day, and I post on Tumblr sometimes as well. I have a website at studywithalex.com where I write about language-related things, so that might be interesting to you. If you liked this video, please give me a like. If you want to see more from me, go ahead and subscribe. Thank you all for watching today. I'll see you for another video very soon, alright? Tschüss!